Wow. You guys tahu dia siapa tak? Kami punya new colleague, Ishwan. Tahu kan? Surya, please come in. Okay, so today our topic is housing development regulation in Malaysia.
Imam pula panggil baca dia tak pandai.
Okay, we start. So normally last time what we shared is Housing Development Act. Tapi dalam Act tu, ATA tu ada regulation. Okay? So regulation tu dia ada 3 parts actually. But today I just want to focus in 2 parts. The third part I akan touch and go lah. Okay? So the first part is control and licensing. Yang selalu kami dengar APDL. Okay, APDL tu stand for what? Advertising Permit and Developer License. Okay, so part 2 is HDA. You guys also very familiar because in the letter of advice you will stated the HDA accounts. Different project have different HDA accounts. This one you have to be careful. Okay, in housing development control and licensing regulations, it come into force in 1st of April 1989. I don't know when I So it's governed under Ministry of Housing and local government. Okay. So only apply to Peninsular Malaysia, Semenanjung Malaysia saja. 哎，你们啲人做乜嘛？
Fake me.
没有呀？哇！
Ai, lampau.
Okay, so who shall apply? Developers who desire to engage in carry out or undertake or cost to be undertaking a housing development. So sesiapa developer yang nak adakan develop project di Semenanjung Malaysia, they have to apply the license. We call developer license. So how to apply? They have to submit application in the relevant forms which is stated in the HDA to the controller, which is Ministry of Housing, together with relevant documents. The fee is dekat sini. Okay. Upon applications for the license should be 50 ringgit. This one is application fees. The license fee is 1,000 per year. So setiap tahun mereka akan semasa mereka buat renewal, mereka kena submit sama punya fees lah. Okay, these are the documents required for the applicants lah. If the applicant is person individual, then these are the documents that they have to submit. And if bodies, then these are the documents. Normally, the developers are companies. So these are the documents, M&A, articles of associate and associations, a copies of latest audited balance sheet. These are the documents that normally the companies will submit. If the developer is firm, then these are the documents, society, and these are the documents. When to renew the housing developer's license, the applications of renewal shall not more than 14 days before the date of expiry. And the application of renewal shall be made until the CCC obtained. So lepas dapat CF tu atau CCC, tak payah renew dah the developer license. Okay? So the fees for renewal sama. 50 ringgit for the application fees and the license fee is 1,000 per year. Okay? So how to apply for renewal? Sama, submit the application form to the controller, give the particulars of any change if any, give particulars of any change to the lots to be developed. Kalau ada change lah, parcel ada change, dalam building plan ada change, kena submit also semasa renewal. So any relevant information to be required from time to time by the controller. So that one is housing developers license, and now we are discussing the advertising permit, advertisement and sales permit. The housing developer must obtain the advertisement and sales permit first before carrying out the advertisement or sales. Jadi sebelum developer dapat license, sebelum dapat itu advertisement permit, mereka tak boleh ada sales gallery. Tapi sekarang ada record tau boleh cakap. Normally developer akan ada preview lah. Okay, Semasa kami dengan preview, normally is either AP dia belum dapat atau AP dia dapat tapi developer tak mau start selling dulu. Okay? How to apply? The developer shall submit the application in the form with the following documents: a copy of the building plans yang kami selalu attach dalam SPA, 2 copies of the proposed advertisement. Particulars containing the selling price of every unit of the housing accommodation and any other information required by the controller. So for the advertisement permit, the fees is 50 ringgit sama dengan license application fees, but the APDL permit is 500 per year. Developer license is 1,000 per year, okay? But for the advertisement permit is 500 per year. So these are the definitions of the advertisement. So advertisement including anything notification published in newspaper, journal, magazine, brochure or any other form, displayed on hoarding, boarding, roof, wall, piling, conveyed by means of phone or communication, or conveyed by other means in oral or written. So this communication defined in regulation is any communication whether between the person and the person, things and things, in form of sound, data, text, visual image, signal or any other forms or any combination of those forms, and includes the internet. So Facebook, Instagram, all are communication, all are advertisements. So what is film? Film is all this lah, video type, CD, cinematograph. Wah, kayu ada sini ya. Jadi kayu boleh tolong filter dulu sebelum pass to kami lah. Kalau apa-apa question mereka tanya. Okay, films are records whatsoever made of a sequence of visual image which is record capable of being used as a means of showing that sequence of movie. Actually, these are the definition which is stated in the regulations. Okay? So, in the advertisement, actually controller the other mention dalam advertisement developer mereka mesti include all these. The first one is the housing developer's license number and validity date. APDL semasa submit untuk advice kan, bawa ada validity dia. So when it's already expired, within 14 days before the expiry date, the developer must renew lah. Okay, just now already mentioned. So advertisement and sales permit also have to mention in the advertisement the number and validity date, the name and address of the licensed housing developers, the tenure of the land, leasehold atau freehold, the description of the proposed housing accommodation, service apartment, apartment suite, flat ke, pangsa puri, service ke, atau schedule G, terrace ke apa, gonna mention in the advertisement also. Any parking lot, accessory parcel, ada car park ke tak ada car park, gonna mention also. Completion date, selling price, ni pun selling price. Okay, numbers of units and also the building plans and reference number. Masih ingat tak dekat first schedule kan, dia akan mention who is the authorities that approve the plan and also the reference number. Why you have to mention the reference number? If let's say developer ada amend building plans ke apa kan, itu public documents. So the purchaser, even though in their SMP is the old plans, but when they go and check with the land office or the authorities, right, just mention about the reference number, they can get the latest one. Okay? Particulars that not to be included. Okay, semasa developers mereka advertise satu project kan, mereka tak boleh mention. These are the language that they cannot mention. Normally the developers will mention about, actually it's not the developer, it's the agent. Normally property agent akan free legal fees. Actually mereka tak boleh mention lah in their advertisement. Offer of legal fees. Okay? These are the guarantee return. Pun tak boleh mention macam sekarang you beli 500, after few years dia akan increase, ada appreciation, tak boleh mention also. Okay, panoramic view. Okay, sekarang you nampak KLCC view. Mana tahu depan ada satu building. So you cannot mention all these which is guarantee ada punya. Kerana after completed, after few years you tak tahu ada apa depan dah. Okay, so renewal FPDL. This one is the advertisement and sales permit, not later than 60 days before the date of expiry. Developer license is 14 days, but the advertising permit is 60 days before the expiry. Ada dalam question? Ada. The particulars for required when renewal is 2 copies of the proposed advertisement, sama lah macam tadi dengan particulars of the housing development. So the fees is 50 ringgit plus the advertising and sales permit fees is 500 per year. So total 550 ringgit. So okay, advertising permit. Ada apa-apa question tak? Ada. Okay, now we talk about contract of sales. Contract of sales is the documents that we sign, Schedule H, Schedule G, Schedule I, and Schedule J. Okay, who can be the parties? The proprietor of the land shall be the parties of the contract of sales. If the developer is not the proprietor, he cannot enter into any contract of sales of housing accommodation, exception, there is exception. The proprietor of the land is also the party to the contract. Meaning that the developers is proprietor or not. Ada certain project kan, proprietor kena sign, developer kena sign. This is kalau macam proprietor tu di BKL atau orang party lain selain daripada developers. Tapi ada case yang juga proprietor dia sudah bagi the power to developer to sign the SPA on behalf. So kami tak payah submit untuk proprietor untuk execution lah. Okay. So the form to be used is just I already mentioned, Schedule G, H, I, and J. Collection of payment, this one. That the payment can only be collected as prescribed by the contract of sales, meaning that upon signing the SMP, then the developer can only collect the payment of first 10%. Tapi what is the current trend is the developer will collect booking fee. So when the purchaser complain, if you guys nak complain pun boleh lah kalau ada beli rumah, you can start calculate the interest from the booking date. Kalau developer ada late delivery lah, the parcel to you, you can start calculate not from the SPA date but from the booking date. But other case law yang mention, if every deal sudah obtain, you boleh calculate from the booking date. If the AP deal belum dapat lagi, tapi biasa itu booking fee lawyer yang collect kan. Kami tak buat, orang lain yang buat. Okay, subject to the court decision lah. Tak semestinya semua boleh calculate from the date of booking. Depends on the facts of the case. Okay. I rasa you guys pun tak faham apa. No other payment can be. This one is mentioned in the HTA. No other payment can be collected by anyone including party acting as stakeholder in whatever time, whatever name. Lawyer tak boleh collect, developer pun tak boleh collect. Anyone. Okay, so before signing SMP, tak ada sesiapa yang boleh collect booking fees lah. Okay. Incomplete contract of sales. So the developer who execute a contract of sales must complete lah. Developer tak boleh sign in advance. Okay, Isha. Okay, macam details tak boleh pre-sign lah. This is what the regulation means. Kami tak boleh, tak ada details purchaser, developer boleh pre-sign the SMP. Tak boleh lah. Everything must be completed, then only they can sign. Complete and finalize. Okay. What is the difference between Schedule G, H, and I, J? G and H adalah sell untuk property sell dan build, which is actually beza dia dekat itu third schedule saja. Dalam G and H ada schedule payment A until F progressively, okay? But for I and J kan build themselves, dia ada dua column saja. First 10% upon signing and the 90% actually is upon CCC obtained. This is the difference only between these two. And I is for landed, J is for high rise, master title. Sama lah, G adalah untuk landed properties, but Schedule H adalah untuk master title, which is governed under Strata Management Act and Strata Title Act. Okay, why I mention about Strata Title, because Schedule H for certain project pun ada landed strata we call. Okay, tak semestinya semua landed adalah bawah Schedule G. Schedule G adalah separation of separate title, individual title, which is not governed under Strata Title Act. Okay. Okay, appeal and penalty. If let's say developer semua application dia kena reject, mereka boleh appeal within 14 days after having a decision of the controller. 14 hari selepas kena reject, mereka kena within 14 hari mereka kena buat appeal lah. Okay, rayuan. Kalau semua application ni di reject oleh controller, ditolak. Okay. So if let's say under the regulation developer ada breach mana-mana satu section atau regulation, so these are the penalty. These are the fine, not more than 50k, or imprisonment not more than 5 years. Okay. So part 2, we will talk about the housing accounts. So selepas developers dapat APDL, mereka akan pergi open an HDL account. Mereka akan submit. So within 14 days after the issuance of the housing developer's license, the developer have to submit a certificate from the bank to the controller certifying that the housing development's account has been opened. So within 14 days after being notified by a purchaser of the name and address of the purchaser's bank, the developer have to inform the banks of housing developers accounts. Meaning that dalam Schedule H, whichever schedule contract signed under HDA, developers will give the lawyers to insert the HDA account. Different project have different HDA account, even though sama punya developers. Okay, so even different phases pun akan ada different account sometimes. Kerana mereka submit APDL yang different, mereka apply different APDL. So deposit, selepas developers open an account, in the same time mereka have to put 3% of the estimated cost of construction into the housing development accounts. So the deposit always have to make sure that in the accounts have a balance of 3%, and the deposit can be made by cash or bank guarantee. So the developer should deposit into the HDA accounts all monies received in following manners: the payment made by the purchaser in relation to the purchase of the properties, any loan obtained for the construction of the properties, or any interest obtained from the loan for the construction or payment made by the purchasers. The purchaser's financial shall deposit the money in respect of the progressive payment into the HDA directly. Pay to the developers, the purchaser financial, which is purchaser bank, have to pay to the developer solicitor directly for any payment to the developer solicitor as the stakeholder. Or pay to the bank or financial, this one is the master charge lah, for the payment of redemption sum under Schedule G and Schedule H. Okay? So, macam mana developer boleh withdraw money under the Act? No monies in the HDA accounts of housing development shall be withdrawn by developers except for all these reasons. Developer boleh apply to the controller for the, kalau dia nak bayar untuk all outgoings including quick rent assessment, dia boleh withdraw money from HDA. Payment for stamp duty or charge, caveat, debenture, guarantee or memorandum of deposit of title, dia pun boleh withdraw. Pay legal fees, to lawyers, dia pun boleh withdraw. Any matters relating to the housing developments, the payments of insurance premium, contribution, or the fees for architects, engineers, quantity survey, land surveyor, or other consultants. All this. Như nãy I mentioned, the cost for the foundation, the payment of contribution towards the water and electricity supplies, lawful charges to the government department, any relevant authorities, refund the progress payment upon termination, okay, termination of the sales purchase, payment of the interest and charges to the bank and loan taken, these are for the master chargee. If no loan is taken, the payments of cost of land, 10% of the purchase price, where up to 55% if the purchase price has been paid. Kalau for the properties, right, the purchaser, the bank already released 55% of the purchase price, the developer can straight away withdraw 10% of the purchase price from the HDA. Okay, so further 10% of the purchase price is where up to 60% of the purchase price has been paid. Payment of the capital, administrative expenses, payment of the tax, any costs and expenses incurred, payment of liquidated damages, payment of defects pertaining to the projects during the deferred liability period, any other expenses with approval of the controller in writing. So, any withdrawal of the monies from the HDA must be supported by the certificates from the architect, engineers, or quantity surveyor. So the request of the withdrawal shall be supported documents duly certified by the director, proprietor, partners, or the office bearer. Surplus money. The housing development and developers can withdraw the surplus money after deducting the amount required to complete the development and the sales and purchase, 10% of the amount required to complete the projects and the sales and purchase. This one is for the inflation thing. And the claims on liquidated damages. The withdrawal can be done only after the issuance of CCC with the approval of controller. Okay, this one, the developer may withdraw all monies from the accounts with the approval of controller when the CCC already obtained. The obligations of developers in respect of the transfer of the title has been fulfilled and certified by the developer's solicitor. So we will give confirmation to the developer for them to submit to the Ministry of Housing to withdraw all monies, and developer have to wait for 2 years after the deferred liability period has expired. So if these three conditions already fulfilled, then only the developer can withdraw all monies from the accounts. Okay? So the power of controller, the controller can use the money in the accounts when it is satisfied the housing development is detrimental to the interest of the purchaser or to comply with an award made by the tribunal. So under the HDA, there are one tribunal. Kalau buyer nak complain mereka, home buyer can go to Putrajaya, the tribunal for home buyers claims. Okay, so other slides just for your information. The claims and the award cannot be more than 50,000 ringgit, and within the time period of 12 months, 12 bulan from the date of issuance of CCC, the buyer kalau nak complain kan, mereka hanya boleh complain within the 12 months, okay, from the issuance of CCC, or the 12 months from the expiry date of deferred liability period, or kalau itu sales and purchase agreement sudah terminate, kalau purchaser feel that very unfair, mereka pun boleh complain, but the time period is 12 months from the date of termination of the sales and purchase agreement. Okay, this one termination of the sales and purchase agreement is sebelum CCC, macam semasa during construction period mereka sudah being terminated. Kalau mereka nak complain, mereka pun boleh pergi tribunal within 12 months. Okay? Thank you. Ada apa-apa soalan tak? Exam sangat senang saja. Ya, ya, ya.
Empat soalan. Bukan. MBTL. Ni license work, local license work.
Soalan ada 7. So kena betul at least 4.
Local license work, MBTL. License, application should be license tak boleh macam saya lah dapat
I rasa boleh application application